Agnès Varda is a film director who was born in Belgium, but has spent most of her working life in France. Her films, photographs, and art installations focus on documentary realism, feminist issues, and social commentary with a distinct experimental style. Film historians have cited Varda's work as central to the development of the French New Wave film movement. Her uses of location shooting and non-professional actors were unconventional in the context of 1950s French cinema. Early life. Varda was born Arlette Varda on May 30, 1928, in Ixelles, Belgique, the daughter of Christiane and Eugene Varda, an engineer. Her mother was French and her father came from a family of Greek refugees from Asia Minor. She was the middle of 5 children. When she was 18, Varda legally changed her name to Agnès. When she was a teenager, she left Belgium in 1940 and fled to Cited, France, to live with the rest of her family. She studied art history and photography at the École des Beaux-Arts. She went on to work for the Théâtre National Populaire as a photographer. Personal life. In 1958, while living in Paris, she met her husband, Jacques Demy, also a French actor and director. They moved in together in 1959. She was married to Demy until his death in 1990. Varda has 2 children, a daughter, Rosalie Varda Demy with Antoine Bourcilla, and a son, Mathieu with Jacques Demy. Varda is the cousin of painter Jean Varda. In 1967, while living in California, Varda met her father's cousin for the first time. He is the subject of her short documentary Uncle Yanko, named after Jean Varda, who referred to himself as Yanko and was affectionately called Uncle by Varda due to the difference in age between them. In 1971, Varda was one of the 343 women who signed the Manifesto of the 343, admitting they had had an abortion despite the fact that it was illegal in France at the time and asking for abortions to be made legal. Varda was one of the 5 people to attend Jim Morrison's burial in 1971 in Paris at the Père Lachaise Cemetery. She was a member of the jury at the Cannes Film Festival in 2005 and a member of the jury at the Venice Film Festival in 1983. Professional life. Varda is a significant figure in modern French cinema. Her career predates the start of the Nouvelle Vague, and Le Point Court contains many elements specific to that movement. In an interview with The Believer, Varda stated that she wanted to make films that related to her time, rather than focusing on traditions or classical standards. In 1977, Varda founded her own production company, Cine Tamaris, in order to have more control in shooting and editing. In 2013, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art held Varda's first U.S. exhibition called Agnès Varda in Californialand. The exhibition featured a sculptural installation, several photographs, and short films, and was inspired by time she spent in Los Angeles in the 1960s. Involvement in the French New Wave. The French New Wave movement was broken into 2 subgroups, the Coheres du Cinéma group and the Left Bank Cinema group. Because of her literary influences, and because her work predates the French New Wave, Varda's films belong more precisely to the Rive Gauche cinema movement, along with Chris Marker, Alain Resnais, Marguerite Duras, Alain Robert Grillet, Jean Cairo and Henri Colpi. The group was strongly tied to the Nouveau Roman movement in literature and politically was positioned to the left. Its members would often collaborate with each other. Style. Varda's work is often considered feminist because of her use of female protagonists and creating a female cinematic voice. Many of her films use protagonists that are marginalized or rejected members of society, and are documentarian in nature. Like many other French New Wave directors, Varda was likely influenced by auteur theory, creating her own signature style by using the camera as a pen. Varda describes her method of filmmaking as cinécriture. The term was created by merging cinema and writing in French, rather than separating the fundamental roles that contribute to a film. Varda believes that all roles should be working together simultaneously to create a more cohesive film, and all elements of the film should contribute to its message. She claims to make most of her discoveries while editing, seeking the opportunity to find images or dialogue that create a motif. Because of her photographic background, still images are often of significance in her films. Still images may serve symbolic or narrative purposes, and each element of them is important. There is sometimes conflict between still and moving images in her films, and she often mixes still images in with moving images. Varda pays very close attention to detail and is highly conscious of the implications of each cinematic choice she makes. Elements of the film are rarely just functional. Each element has its own implications, both on its own and that it lends to the entire film's message. Many of her influences are artistic or literary. Some of her influences include surrealism, Franz Kafka and Nathalie Sarraute. Notable films. Le Point Court. Varda liked photography but was interested in moving into film. After spending a few days filming the small French fishing town of Le Point Court for a terminally ill friend who could no longer visit on his own, Varda decided to shoot a feature film of her own. Thus, in 1954, Varda's first film, Le Point Court, about an unhappy couple working through the relationship in a small fishing town, was released. The film is a stylistic precursor to the French New Wave. At the time, Varda was influenced by the philosophy of Gaston Bachelard, whom she once studied under at the Sorbonne. She was particularly interested in his theory of l'imagination des métiers, in which certain personality traits were found to correspond to concrete elements in a kind of psychoanalysis of the material world. This idea arrives in Le Point Court as the characters' personality traits clash, shown through the opposition of objects such as wood and steel. To further her interest in character abstraction, Varda used two professional actors, Sylvia Montfort and Philippe Noiret, combined with the residents of Le Point Court to provide a realistic element that lends itself to a documentary aesthetic. Inspired by neo-realism, Varda would continue to use this combination of fictional and documentary elements in her films. Following Le Point Court, Célia Cousteau from 5 to 7 follows a pop singer through to extraordinary hours in which she awaits the results of a recent biopsy. At first glance, the film is about a woman coming to terms with her mortality, which is a common auteurist trait for Agnès Varda. On a deeper level, Célia Cousteau from 5 to 7 confronts the traditionally objectified woman by giving Cleo her own vision. She is unable to be constructed through gaze of others, which is often represented through a motif of reflections, and Cleo's ability to strip her body of to-be-looked-at-ness attributes. Stylistically, Célia Cousteau from 5 to 7 borders documentary and fiction as Le Point Court had, although many believe that the 90-minute film represents the diegetic action which occurs between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. in real time. There is actually a half-hour difference. The Vagabond. In 1984, Varda created Sans toi ni Eloi, or Vagabond in English, which is a drama about the death of a young female drifter named Mona. The death is investigated by an unseen and unheard interviewer who focuses on the people who have last seen her. The story of Vagabond is told through non-linear techniques, with the film being divided into 47 episodes, and each episode about Mona being told from a different person's perspective. The Vagabond is considered to be one of Agnès Varda's greater feminist works in how the film deals with the defetishization representation of the female body from the male perspective. Jacques Nantes. From 1962 until his death in 1990, Varda was married to the film director Jacques Demy, with whom she had one child, actor Mathieu Demy. Jacques Demy also legally adopted Rosalie Varda, Varda's daughter, from a previous union with actor Antoine Bourcilla, who starred in her early films Cited from 5 to 7. In 1991, shortly before Jacques Demy's death, Agnès Varda created the film Jacques Nantes, which is about his life and death. The film is structured at first as being a recreation of his early life, being obsessed with the various crafts used for filmmaking like animation and set design. But then Varda provides elements of documentary by inserting clips of Demy's films as well as footage of him dying. The film continues with Varda's common theme of accepting death, but at its heart it is considered to be Varda's tribute to her late husband and the work. The Gleaners and I, Les Glaneurs et les Glaneurs, or The Gleaners and I, is a documentary made in 2000 that focuses on Varda's interactions with gleaners who live in the French countryside, but also includes subjects who create art through recycled material, as well as an interview with psychoanalyst Jean Laplanche. The Gleaners and I is notable for its fragmented and free-form nature, along with it being the first time Varda used digital cameras. This style of filmmaking is often interpreted as a statement that great things like art can still be created through scraps, yet modern economies encourage people to only use the finest product. Awards and honors. For the 1985 documentary-style feature film Vagabond Without Roof or Rule, she received the Golden Lion of the Venice Film Festival. In 2002, Agnès Varda was the recipient of the prestigious French Academy Prize, René Clair Award. On the 4th of March 2007, she was appointed a Grand Officer of the National Order of Merit of France. In 2009, The Beaches of Agnès won the Best Documentary Film of the CEACUTSAR Award. On the 12th of April 2009, she was made Commander de la Légion d'Honneur. In May 2010, Varda received Director's Fortnight's 8th Carrosse d'Or Award for Lifetime Achievement at the Cannes Film Festival. On the 22nd of September 2012, Varda received an honorary degree from Liège University, Belgium. On the 14th of May 2013, Varda was promoted to Grand Cross of the National Order of Merit of France. On the 22nd of May 2013, Varda received the 2013 FIAF Award for her work in the field of film preservation and restoration. On the 10th of August 2014, Varda received the Leopard of Honor Award at the 67th Locarno Film Festival. She was the second female to receive the award after Kira Muradova. On the 13th of December 2014, Varda received the Honorary Lifetime Achievement Award, presented by the European Film Academy. On the 24th of May 2015, Varda received an Honorary Palme d'Or. She is the first woman to receive an Honorary Palme d'Or. Filmography. Feature film, short film, television publications. Les Plages d'un texte illustre. 4 by Agnès Varda. Essays. Agnès Varda. Le Liel. Actes Sud. Sans Toignello et un film dans Varda. La marginalité à l'écran. Varda par Agnès. Le code d'azur.